Welcome back to the channel. This is the Action Figure Grader, and today's video, as always on Fridays, is buy this or buy that. We've got some vintage collection, some comic books, as well as some vintage Kenner items that I wanted to go through that are available for sale on eBay. As always, in the video description, there will be eBay affiliate links to all of the items covered in this video, and if you want to bid low using the links and then come back to try and win it later in an auction, or use those affiliate links to make an offer or buy it now, it does help out the channel. And thanks to those of you that support the channel by using those affiliate links. I also do have a shout out to give, and that is Keith Guppy. He sent me a YouTube super for one of my recent videos. He recently started a YouTube channel called Mando Number 5. So be sure to go and subscribe to Keith's new YouTube channel. And in the video description, I will also include a link to the main profile page for his YouTube channel. So make sure to go and subscribe. He's got an incredible collection and does a room tour, all kinds of great stuff. So good friend of mine, been a big supporter of the channel for a number of years. And so I want to make sure to support him as well. So make sure to go to subscribe to Mando Number 5, Keith Guppy. And thank you again, Keith, for the super. All right, let's go ahead and dig into some items here. We're going to start off with the vintage collection. We have a Canadian offerless Revenge of the Jedi Wicket. So there were select SDCC Death Star box sets that were Canadian. And this is a Canadian example. You can see the obvious Canadian French card back there. And this one is the offerless. So this one was the harder to find kind of multi-language version of the SDCC Death Star Wicket. UKG 90%. This one's at auction and it's only at 15 pounds right now. This ends Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern time in the US. Be sure to go to check out his other items. He's got a special action figure 3-pack that's graded. And he also does have this B-Wing pilot, which is a Revenge of the Jedi offerless. So again, from the SDCC box set. But this is the US version. So you can see the difference to the card back for this B-Wing palette versus the Wicket, which is the Canadian example. So both of those are at auction. UKG 90% also ends Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern. This seller has a couple of fairly nice TVC 1.0. This is an AFA 8.5 original issue Star Killer unpunched US card. This one's at $101 right now. This ends Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern time. And then the same seller also has a VC98 Grand Moff Tarkin with the Maul offer sticker, again unpunched. That one's at $77 and ends Sunday at 9:30 Eastern time. So if you're looking for some high grade TVC, there you go. Power Droid's coming up in a second. We'll get to him. I forgot about this one. This was an uncirculated 8.5 Boba Fett's Slave 1. So this is the reissue ESB packaging Slave 1. And it's an uncirculated grade, meaning that somebody sent in a sealed shipper case of these Slave 1s for grading with AFA. So uncirculated 8.5. That one, the seller's asking $450 for it, which I don't think that's that bad of a deal, given what it costs to grade and ship this to and from CAS and or from AFA, excuse me, and given that these go for what, 150 plus shipping, ungraded, and the grading costs I would think has got to be $200 to $250 pretty easily. So it's basically at grading costs. And he also does have a make an offer option. I received an offer for $425. You can probably get it even cheaper than that, but that seems like a pretty good deal there. There's 9 watchers on it already, and it's freshly graded, still in the AFA poly bag. So if you're looking for, you know, a pretty big item for your collection, this would make a nice centerpiece, uncirculated 8.5. Power Droid. Okay, here we go. Here's the Power Droid. This is VC20 Yoda. This is the, they label it North South America card. This is really, I call the Kenner Canada card back, and it's unpunched with the multi-language name pill for Yoda, as well as the alternate card image. So this is a true grail. He's asking a lot for it. He's asking $1,500. And as we've talked about in past vintage collection market updates, this particular item, while still probably the most expensive TVC retail release item there is, I'm excluding the mouse droid, the SDCC items, things like that. But this is the most expensive vintage collection item there is, right, in terms of retail release. So it's the alternate image VC20 Canadian Yoda AFA 9.0. He's asking $1,500, but he does have a make an offer option. So if you're looking for an unpunched example, that's a pretty nice one, and it's a trusted seller I've bought from in the past. Some comic books, don't freak out. I know it's not Star Wars, but I wanted to show these books because they're really nice books. This is at auction. This is Ultimate Spider-Man #1. This is the origin of Miles Morales. It's at auction. This one ends Monday evening, 11:20 p.m. Central Time, and it's got a black border. It's a very tough book to get in a 9.8. I mean, it's not super tough. It's a modern book, but it's the origin of Miles Morales. Pretty great cover, and it's at $33 right now. I expect this one to sell for $300 to $325, somewhere in that ballpark. If you get it for under $300, you're doing really well. That's a very, very nice book. Some Uncanny X-Men. This is Uncanny X-Men number 142, the Days of Future Past storyline. It's a great cover with the Sentinel killing the future version of Wolverine, and it's a signed book. It's a signed CGC 9.8. Terry Austin, who obviously is pretty famous for his Uncanny X-Men run, and it's at $550, which, an unsigned 9.8 usually goes $450, somewhere in that ballpark. So you're basically paying $100 for a signed Terry Austin Uncanny X-Men 142. That seems like a pretty good deal to me. $550 on that one. And then here is a newsstand edition of Uncanny X-Men number 221, the first appearance of the great villain, Mr. Sinister. He plays a big role in the new X-Men 97 Disney Plus animated series. If you haven't watched it, you're missing out. It's a great, great animated series. And this is the harder to find newsstand, and this one is signed by Chris Claremont. It's at auction. It's at $330 right now. It is at Friday evening at 9:22 Eastern time. So by the time this video airs, just keep in mind that this book is ending pretty quickly the same night, Friday night. But it's signed by Chris Claremont, who obviously is pretty famous for his Uncanny X-Men run. The harder to find newsstand, first appearance of Mr. Sinister. Great book. And it's at $330. I'm guessing this one's going to end somewhere around $1,000. Just a guess. It might go higher than that. An unsigned CGC 9.8 newsstand Uncanny X-Men 221 can go anywhere from $800 to $900. So I'm assuming $1,000, maybe even over that for a signed version. All right, back to the good stuff. Don't freak out. I told you I'd go back. Here is a really cool 48 back free Nyan Num, however you want to pronounce it, yellowed 80, and this is a UKG 80%. But what's cool about it is it's the US card, and it has the Palatoy sticker on the back. So this is a US card back, but they added the Palatoy sticker. You see those occasionally. It's at auction. This one ends Sunday at 2:36 Eastern time, but pretty great transition card for the C-3PO removable limbs, and it does have the Palatoy sticker on the back. Very, very cool item there. And here is speaking of red bars, I just showed you guys mine this week that got back from AFA. This is a pretty rough red bar R5D4. It's got a hole in the sticker, so just keep that in mind with your bidding, okay? It's not a high-end example, but it's at auction. It ends Saturday at 11:01 Eastern time. And the same seller also has a number of last 17 that are at auction. I just pulled up the EV99 that ends Saturday morning, but go check out this seller's other items. None of these sellers have asked me to show their items on the video, okay? These are all just items that I picked randomly that I thought were worth keeping an eye on. But this seller has a number of last 17 that are at auction that are in various condition, okay? So make sure to check out the photos because some of them are more mint than others, but they're all at auction, so hopefully you can get a good deal for your collection if you're not into graded items. So the EV99 ends Saturday morning, but again, go check out sellers' other items for a huge pile of last 17 at auction, complete with weapons. Here is a Lily Letty Princess Leia in Bush disguise, and this is a UKG 85%. The seller's asking $250 for it, which I don't think is a bad deal at all, and you can also make an offer on it. There was an AFA 80 or 80 plus that sold from CIB/AFA a while back, and I want to say it was around the same price. So this is a very nice example, and Stay on Target is a trusted seller that I've bought from in the past. But if you're looking for the Lily Letty Bush UKG 85%, you can make an offer on that one. This seller, you can also make an offer for a UKG 85% freshly graded yak face, new case style, and he wants £495 for it, which is $627 US. Over here in the US, they sell for $600 to $650 ungraded these days in high grade. But this one, you can make an offer. It's UKG 85%, and that's another seller that has very nice UKG items that I've touched on in the past, so you know you're going to get your item just fine. Next up, this was a cool one. I had never seen this before. This is a Hong Kong Boba Fett graded UKG 80%, custom encased with the carbonite block from the Slave 1, the vintage Slave 1. And the block is graded UKG 85%. So that's a really cool custom that I've never seen before, and it's at auction. Right now, it's at £125, which is $158. It ends Sunday at 2:54 Eastern Time. So that's a really cool item. I thought that's the first time I've ever seen that. Next up, we've got at auction a Transition ESB 21 back for R2-D2 Solid Dome. Very tough to find Transition card for R2-D2. It's punched example with some price stickers. The current bid is at $146. 10 bids on that one. And that one ends on June 26th at 9:15 Eastern Time. The same seller also has the Transition card C-3PO, but it's not nearly as good condition as this one. This one's in much better shape than the C-3PO, so I just showed the R2-D2, but that's a very tough item to find, and it looks to be a clear blister in pretty great shape overall, and so go check out that one. And of course, no what to buy video would be... The problem with AFA/CIB is that's where they keep all the AFA/CIBs. They've got more auctions going for some very nice high-grade examples, as well as some that are not in high grade. But I picked out my 3 favorites, but go check out their other items. They have a huge lot of mint-on cards and things like that that are ending this Sunday. And the first one is a 20 back A Death Squad Commander graded AFA 80, no price sticker, unpunched, clear blister. What a stunner. That one's at $429. And again, all of these in Sunday evening. They have a 31 back B Luke Skywalker Bespin walking photo. This is a punched example, no price sticker. It does have, it looks like some litho kind of residue from the sticker on the card back by the name pill. So just keep that in mind. It's a 80, 85, 80, and there's the back of the card there. And that one's at $610. Pretty nice example of the overall clear blister, but just keep in mind that it is a punched example with some sticker residue. And then I also wanted to show this AFA 70 Tusken Raider, but this is the Hollow Cheeks Tusken Raider mint on card. So you can see there, it says coin offer, Hollow Cheeks, AFA 70, and pretty nice. You know, it presents a lot nicer than a 70, but it's got some sticker residue and litho issues up there in the upper right from where they tried to remove the sticker. So that's why it got the 70. But it is a harder to find coin offer, and of course the harder to find Hollow Cheeks mint on card. And that one's at $306. Now don't freak out when you bid on this, all right? This one has come down in price. This one, you know, a while ago would have probably been $1,500 or more. But I've seen a few mint on card Tusken Raiders that have gone $600 to $700. So that's about the max I would go on this one. Will it go higher than that? Probably, because it's AFA/CIB selling it, and you know, it attracts a lot of bidders because they know they're going to get their items safe and sound. So bid accordingly, though. Okay, this one has come back down in price a little bit. Next up, let's see. We've got this is the cool one too. This is a 77 back B Stormtrooper, and it is slightly yellowed, but it does mention that it's got a taped blaster on the card back. And so, you know, some of these come with the blaster in the Stormtrooper's hand, and then obviously some of them come with the taped blaster. So it's a little bit of a variation there. I just thought that was a kind of a cool one. The other thing I like about it is that it's very lightly yellowed. The background for the card image blends in nicely with the yellowing, so it's not nearly as yellowed as some that you see. So that's a very nice example. It's a punched example, no price sticker. The current bid is at $305, but I thought that was a very nice 80+ grade 77 back B Stormtrooper. Here is an interesting one. I'm a little surprised it hasn't sold yet. It just got listed yesterday as of the making of this video, but this is a miscard tri-logo Weequay on the Warwick card back. It's unpunched too, and it's only a yellowed 70, obviously, because the blister has, you know, obvious dings, and you know, it's not mint, okay, but it is a miscard, and it's a vintage miscard tri-logo. This is a fairly common combination. I've seen a few of these, including in I think Blacked Out Ewoks, who's a YouTuber and buddy of mine. I think he's got one of these as well. But it's not super rare, okay, but it is a miscard, and they don't want a terrible amount of money for it. There's 10 watchers on it. It's 500 pounds, and which equates to $634 US. Quite honestly, it's a price I would pay right now and to buy it now. I don't want to spend any money right now because I'm leaving town to go deep sea fishing, and I don't want to not be home when this one arrives and it sits outside and gets rained on, okay? So that's quite honestly the probably the only reason I'm not buying anything in this lot, because I'm not going to be home to pick it up. So anyway, if my wife is going to be home, but I don't trust her because she's never home when the mailman comes. All right. And so I don't want it sitting outside getting stolen or rained on. She's going to be home. I'm going deep sea fishing, but at the end of the day, I don't want to spend any money right now. I'm using my fishing trip as an excuse to not buy anything. All right, I freely admit that. But this is a beauty. I think I would personally buy this. This is a pretty good deal. I think that's a really good deal. Finally, to wrap things up, we've got another UKG 90% vinyl Cape Jawa at auction this time. Brand new case style. What a beauty. And the current bid is 2,330 pounds, which is $2,954. I expect this one to go for around $3,800 to $4,000, somewhere in that ballpark. That's just a guess. And that one ends Sunday at 3:11 Eastern time. So for any of these items, if you use the affiliate links to make an offer or to buy it now, it does help out the channel. And then for some of these items at auction, if you place a low bid using the affiliate links and then come back to win it later, it also does support the channel. So thanks again to those of you that do that. It means a lot to me. Really appreciate the channel support. I hope you find something that you like in this auction. Thank you as always for watching, and I will be back very soon.